to scan the body. Begin to check in with your breath. How are you breathing? You begin to check in with your shoulders, maybe your neck and muscles around the face. Maybe you begin to travel down into the back, into the hips, down into the knees. When you're ready, bring both palms together at the heart. Go ahead and set your intention or dedicate your practice. Release both hands and just begin to engage your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And then when you're ready, go ahead and place one hand on the heart and the other on the belly, just to engage that mind and body connection and awareness a little bit deeper here. So as you're breathing, begin to work into the diaphragm, into that lower belly. So you should start to feel that hand rising and falling into that belly. And try to breathe a little less into the chest. Just continue to breathe deeply. Maybe with each exhale, you begin to relax into the eyes a little bit more. With each exhale, you begin to relax into the shoulders a little bit more. And maybe with each exhale, you begin to let go of your thoughts or concerns. When you're ready, go ahead and release both hands. Let's come on to hands and knees for table. So you want to make sure the wrists are under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. If you need a little bit of support under the knees, you can take a blanket or even a little board to give yourself some support here. But when you're ready, take a nice deep inhale. Go ahead and arch through the back. Inhale, lift through the gaze. Lift your heart. Exhale, slowly round, tuck the tailbone in, relax into the neck. Inhale, arch through the back, gaze up. And exhale, slowly round. And just continue and move with your own breath. So as you're moving here, try to move with intention, try to link the breath with the movement. So remember, yoga is not just the asana or the pose. How are you linking the breath with the movement? So take a nice deep inhale. Go ahead and come back into neutral table. We're just gonna come in for puppy dog pose. So walk the hands forward, bow the head down. Go ahead and keep the hips neutral. So here you're really opening up into the neck and into the upper back and shoulders. Just continue to breathe. When you're ready, go ahead and walk the hands back to table. So you're gonna come in for downward facing dog. So you're gonna walk the hands forward by a couple inches, curl the toes under, lift the hips up. So most of you will probably start off with your heels off of the mat. If this is still a struggle, maybe you take a bend into the knees. So when you're ready, maybe you pedal the feet here. Feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs. And then maybe come back to center, continue to keep the knees bent. Notice the palms of your hands. Make sure the palms of the hands are evenly distributed into the mat to protect the wrists. And maybe you continue to push back into the mat. Really try to lengthen through the spine, relax into the neck. Take your time. Walk the feet forward in between both hands. So you're going to bring the feet about hips width apart. Hands can come onto the legs. You're going to inhale, gaze forward, really flat in the back here. See what's happening into your hamstrings. Does it feel tight? If that's the case, if you're even feeling some pressure in the back of the knees, maybe you take a bend here. So just continue to gaze forward and lengthen. If it's within your practice, you could go a little bit further by folding forward. Maybe the hands meet the opposite elbows. Just begin to breathe. So as we're in this forward fold here, maybe you begin to pull the navel into the spine to protect that lower back. There should be no lower back tension as you're coming in for this forward fold here. So if there's any lower back tension, maybe you continue to bend the knees a little bit deeper. Maybe you gently sway from side to side. So coming back to center, arms are by your sides. Go ahead and gently stack the vertebrae one at a time as you come up into a strong standing bound pose. So feet come slightly apart, arms are by your sides. And just take a moment to feel what's happening in the feet. So really try to distribute every part of your foot into the mat. While you're here, maybe you try to imagine or picture roots connecting to the feet. That's a really nice way to add some imagery into grounding yourself before you really begin to dig deeper into your practice. And maybe you even close the eyes. Maybe you come back to your intention or your dedication of your practice. Maybe you begin to tuck that tailbone in. Maybe you begin to relax into the shoulders. You just continue to lengthen into the spine. And then when you're ready, you're going to open the eyes. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. And then on your exhale, gently come into that half forward fold. So your hands land on the shins. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. So you have the option of staying here, or you can exhale. You can fold forward by bending the knees. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, bring both hands to the heart. Arms are by your sides. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, come into that forward fold or into that half fold. As you inhale, gaze forward, lengthen, or you can exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, bring both hands to the heart. Arms are by your sides. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, come into that forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. And then exhale, maybe you fold forward. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. We're going to come in for a sun A here. Bring both hands to the heart. Arms are by your sides. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, come on into that half forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, flatten the back. Or you can exhale as you fold forward. And then maybe you plant both hands down. And then step the feet back. So nice way to modify as a beginner is you can bring the knees down. While you're here, try to bring the shoulders over the wrists. Try to tuck that tailbone in just a little bit more. And then when you're ready, you're going to lower down into that push-up into Chaturanga Dandasana. So notice this isn't a typical push-up when you're coming here. So really try to, as you bend the elbows, try not to bring the elbows out wide. Try to bring the elbows in. And then when you're ready, you're going to inhale, try to lift yourself up. Lift your heart, lift your gaze as you come in for Cobra. So again, you're straightening the arms, really lifting into the chest, into the gaze, into this back bend. And then exhale, go ahead and bring the seat back. Gently curl the toes under, lift the hips up for downward facing dog. And maybe you take a moment to pedal the feet once more. When you're ready, go ahead and step the feet forward in between both hands. Gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, bring both hands to the heart. Arms are by your sides. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, come into either the half forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, bring the hands down, step the feet back. Go ahead and lower it down. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. So here we're into cobra. If you want to take it further, you can bring the knees up. And then exhale, bring the seat back. Curl the toes under as you come in for downward facing dog. So maybe you make that effort of bringing the heels down into the mat. Play around, see how that feels. Really listen to your body. There should be no pain or discomfort. Continue to stay here for one more breath. And then when you're ready, step the feet forward in between both hands. Gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, bring both hands to the heart. Arms are by your sides. So you're going to bring You're gonna come to the top of the mat, feet are together, arms are by your sides. We're gonna come in for a modified triangle. So you're gonna step the right foot back to the long edge of the mat. We're gonna start on the right foot. So you're gonna pivot the toes back. You're gonna bring that left foot in, right foot comes out. Arms come out wide. On your exhale, you're gonna bend the right knee. Forearm comes onto the thigh, left arm comes up. Try to draw that right shoulder down and back. Hips and shoulders should be nicely stacked. If this is too much on your left shoulder, maybe you modify by taking your left hand to the left hip. The goal is to really gaze up towards the left hand. If this is hard on your neck, maybe you just gaze forward. Just continue to breathe here. Make sure that knee is over the ankle. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up. Arms come out wide. Go ahead and pivot the toes to the opposite side. So we're ending on the left leg here. On your exhale, bend the left knee. Forearm comes onto the thigh, right arm comes up. So the hips and shoulders are nicely stacked. Continue to breathe. And again, if you need to, you're welcome to modify by bringing the hand to the hip. Maybe you even shift your gaze to protect the neck. Maybe just continue to rotate over to the right as you draw that left shoulder down and back. Inhale, slowly come back up. Arms come out wide. Go ahead and point the toes forward as you prepare for a wide-legged fold. So hands come onto the hips. Take a nice deep inhale and then exhale. So you're gonna take the arms back out wide again. And then you're gonna try to bring the legs out wide. So you're gonna take the feet out. You're gonna make sure the feet are under the hands. Hands come onto the hips. Take a nice deep inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. On your exhale, come down halfway, hands meet the mat. So you're welcome to go in a little bit closer into the feet, or you can come a little bit wider. And while you're here, you can come onto the fingertips. You're gonna gaze forward, lengthen. There should be no pain in that lower back. So if that's ever the case, maybe you take a bend into both knees. Especially if there's any pain or discomfort in the hamstrings, you're probably gonna feel a little bit more of an opening into the hamstrings and the outer legs here. Just continue to breathe. If it's within your practice, you could go a little bit deeper by maybe trying to make the effort of straightening the legs here. Just continue to breathe. Maybe you draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Try to pull the navel into the spine. And when you're ready, hands come back onto the hips, slowly come up. And then when you're ready, hands continue to stay onto the hips. As you exhale, bring yourself down. Just allow yourself to hang here. So maybe relax into the neck and into those shoulders. Continue to pull the navel into the spine. Maybe begin to relax into the eyes and into the jaw. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up. And then when you're ready, arms come behind the back, pull onto the opposite elbows. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your feet in a little bit closer. And then when you're ready, you're gonna point the toes and the gaze to the back. So behind your mat. So you're gonna start on the right leg. So hands come onto the hips. Go ahead and shift that left hip forward, right hip comes back. So when you're ready, you're gonna take a nice deep inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. On your exhale, come down halfway. See what's happening on the right side of the, see what's happening in the right leg. If this is a lot, maybe you would take a bend into that right knee. Make sure the knee's over the ankle if you're bending here. So maybe you continue to gaze forward and lengthen. You could also use blocks, but maybe you start off coming onto the fingertips. And just continue to breathe. While you're breathing, maybe you continue to make the effort of shifting that left hip forward. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring the hands onto the hips, slowly come up. When you're ready, go ahead and pivot the toes to the front of the mat. So So you're ending on the left leg here. So really try to make that effort of drawing that right hip forward and that left hip comes back. Take a nice deep inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. On your exhale, come down halfway, see what's happening on this side. So again, hands can come on either side of the left foot. Go ahead and bend that left knee. And then maybe make that effort of drawing that right hip forward a little bit more. But you're gazing forward, you're flattening the back. Just continue to breathe here. You can take those shoulders down and away from the ears a little bit more. And then when you're ready, hands come onto the hips, slowly come up. And then when you're ready, go ahead and step that right foot forward, feet come together, arms are by your sides. So we're gonna come in for a balancing pose. So when you're ready, hands come back onto the hips, shift your weight onto the left leg. As you inhale, bring the right knee up and hold. Try to notice your posture, try to stand up a little bit taller. Try to use your drishti or the focal point in the room to help with balance. Continue to breathe here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring that right foot down, go ahead and pedal the feet out. Coming back to center, we're gonna come onto the other side, so shift your weight onto the right leg. As you inhale, bring the left knee up and hold. One side's gonna feel a little bit more challenging. That is because our hips and our legs are never symmetrical. One leg might be shorter than the other, so try to breathe through this, try to use that focal point to help with balance. And exhale, bring that left foot down, go ahead and pedal the feet out. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm gonna have you work into the feet and ankles. So we're gonna try to strengthen those areas here to help with the lower back and with the legs. So you're gonna bring the feet hips width apart. Arms are by your sides. You're gonna inhale. You're gonna lift through the heels. And exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. If you'd like to take it further, you could bring the arms and the heels up. And exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. So this is not meant to be easy. So if you find this challenging, that's not a bad thing. That's okay. Remember, we have to start somewhere, right? And if you do a ballet dance in the meantime, like I just did, that's fine too. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. Let's go ahead and shake it out, pedal the feet out. Okay, so now it's time to go in for warrior one on the right side. So when you're ready, you're gonna bring the feet hips width apart. You're gonna step that left foot back. Make sure that left foot is at a 45-degree angle. Hands come onto the hips. Try to shift your hips and the torso and the gaze forward. On your exhale, bend that right knee. Make sure the knee's over the ankle here. And then when you're ready, bring both arms up. You gently bring the gaze up. And maybe even notice your shoulders here. Try to draw those shoulders down and away from the ears. Really try to keep that left foot planted on the mat. And continue to breathe. Really try to reach those hands up. Very common mistake that I see a lot of people want to try to lean forward here. The goal is to really reach the hands up. So you're really lengthening. And on your exhale, hands come onto the hips. Go on, step the left foot forward. Maybe pedal the feet out. All right, so coming back to center. You're gonna step the right foot to the long edge of the mat. So when you're ready, you wanna make sure the right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Hands come onto the hips as you shift those hips forward. Once you're here, maybe you take that bend into that left knee. Make sure the knee's over the ankle. And then when you're ready, bring both arms up. Take that gentle gaze up and breathe. Notice, continue to keep that right foot planted on the mat. Maybe you take those shoulders down and away from the ears. Continue to lengthen. And exhale, hands come onto the hips. Go ahead and step the right foot forward. Go ahead and pedal the feet up. All right, So coming back to center. When you're ready, you're gonna inhale, bring both arms up, look up. Exhale, come into that forward fold or that half forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands down, step the feet back. Let's come into table. So let's come into cow once more to bring some mobility back into the spine. So wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. On your inhale, arch the back, gaze up. Exhale, slowly round. Inhale, arch through back, gaze up. And exhale, slowly round. Continue and move with your own breath. Again, you're linking the breath with the movement. And inhale, come back in a neutral table. When you're ready, you're going to take that right leg back and hold. So you want to make sure that the shoulders are over the wrists here. You don't want to bring the back leg up too high or too low. So you want to kind of meet yourself in the middle here. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring the right knee to the chest. As you exhale, come back. Inhale, come in. Really try to bring that knee in. As you exhale, come out. Continue and move with your own breath. So again, you're linking the breath with the movement if you can today. If you shake a little bit, that's okay. We're really working the core, working the glutes. There's a lot happening here. And then on your exhale, come on out. And then inhale, step the right foot forward. And while you're here, maybe you come in a little bit longer in your stance, so you bring that left leg back a little bit more. So the goal is to really feel that opening in the front of that left leg. So maybe you come on the fingertips, maybe you take some blocks if you need extra support. So here, you want to make sure that the right knee is over the ankle. Maybe you gaze forward here. Relax into the shoulders. And just begin to feel and be aware of what's happening into that left leg, maybe even into the right leg, but more primarily into that front of the left leg. There should be a nice opening here. This is a great way to even open up into that psoas muscle. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take your right hand inside of that right foot. Go ahead and walk the right foot to the edge of the mat. And maybe you take your hands to the center. And maybe you gaze forward and continue to lengthen. Again, you want to make sure that knee is over the ankle on that right leg. And then continue to breathe. Draw the shoulders down. Really try to lengthen. So you should start to feel a nice deep opening into that right hip. And then when you're ready, walk the right foot back to center as you take the right hand outside of the right foot. Go ahead and step that right foot back, come back in a neutral table. Maybe you rock the hips from side to side. Coming back to center. On your inhale, lift the left leg up and hold. Notice where your leg is at. You don't want to bring it too low or too high. And while you're here too, notice your shoulders. You don't want to collapse or wing the shoulder blades. Really try to push into the mat, engage those shoulder blades and into the shoulders. And then on your inhale, bring the knee into the chest and hold. And exhale, come out. Inhale, come in. And exhale, come out. Continue and move with your own breath. Again, you're linking the breath with the movement if you can. If you shake, that's okay. All right, one more round here. And exhale, come out. On your next inhale, step that left foot forward in between both hands. So while you're here, maybe you come a little bit longer in the stance here until you find that nice deep opening into the front of that right quad, into that right leg. So again, you want to make sure that left knee is over the ankle. Come onto the fingertips, continue to breathe. Relax into the shoulders, into the eyes and face. And then when you're ready, take your left hand inside of the left foot, step the left foot off to the edge of the mat. Maybe you continue to stand with the fingertips. Maybe you take the palms of the hands onto the mat. Just continue to breathe. You should start to feel a nice deep opening into that left hip. And then when you're ready, take your left hand outside of the left foot as you walk the foot back to center. Go ahead and step that left foot back. And just gently rock the hips from side to side. All right, so we're gonna work into the shoulders here. So we're gonna add some mobility. So you're gonna take the arms out wide. So while you're here, you're going to bend the right elbow. And then you're gonna gently try to make the effort of taking that left shoulder down into the mat. It doesn't have to come all the way down onto the floor, but as long as you find that nice deep stretch into that left shoulder, that is good enough. Inhale, slowly come back to center. As you exhale, bend the left elbow, right shoulder comes down. Inhale, come back up. As you exhale, bend the right elbow, left shoulder comes down. Inhale, come back to center. So just continue and move with your own breath. So I always talk about the pain scale with my students. So on a scale of 1 to 10, is 10 being most painful? I want everybody to be at a 6 or 7. You should find that edge, but there should be enough of an edge to not injure yourself. That's why we talk about that pain scale. If we see past that 7, you're doing more harm than good. It's no longer yoga. So listen to your body, remove the ego, remove the pride, get out of your own way, and just listen and honor your body and honor your practice. Inhale, slowly come back to center. Go ahead and walk the hands back to neutral table. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring the seat off to the side, swing the legs forward. We're gonna go ahead and get into some mobility into the hips. So when you're ready, you're gonna bring the legs out wide. Knees are bent, feet are on the mat. So if you think you're wide, go wider. And I'll explain this in a minute. I'll explain why in a minute. So you're gonna take your knees, you're gonna take your hands onto the mat first, and then on your exhale, you're gonna drop the knees over to the right. So there should be enough space for you to move your legs, right? We want that gap. For those of you who maybe the foot and the legs are touching, the goal is to bring that leg a little bit wider so you have space to do the mobility. So on your next inhale, come back to center. On your exhale, drift over to the left. So same thing, there should be enough space. Eventually the knees should come onto the mat. If you have a hard time doing that, maybe you take a block or a blanket under the knees for some support. But the goal is to really feel that deep opening into that right hip and into that outer leg. Inhale, coming back to center. As you exhale, drift over to the right. You should start to feel a nice deep opening in that outer left leg and into that hip. All right, so I'm gonna have you continue and move with your own breath. So you might find yourself sliding forward a little bit, and that's okay. And maybe if you want to find a little bit more of a challenge, you could bring both hands to prayer. Maybe feel a little bit of popping and the hips moving. That's always a good sign. We want to break up that scar tissue here. This is a really, the more we move our hips, the more preventative it is you want to prevent any injuries or surgeries as we get older. Because, you know that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. That is true, especially when it comes to our bodies. So inhale, slowly come back up to center. As you see, I was sliding forward, now I'm coming back. And then we're gonna come in for a full hip opener as we go ahead, take the hands onto the floor. Go ahead and take the knees off to the right. So while you're here, you don't want to come away from the knee. You want to take your torso towards your right shin. Hands can come onto the leg. You might already start to feel that deep opening. I feel it in my left hip already, so I'm actually going to stay here. If you don't feel a stretch and you want to go a little bit further, you could take your forearms onto the mat. Try to relax into the shoulders. going to lengthen here through the back. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up. And do the same thing on the other side, so go ahead and drift the legs over to the left. Hands come onto the left leg. Remember, we're taking the torso towards the leg and not away from the knee or the leg. So you're going to continue to stay here, really try to lengthen. Try to breathe, feel what's happening in the right leg, into that hip. And inhale, slowly come back to center. And then when you're ready, we're going to come in for an Navasana boat pose. So you're going to inhale, hands come onto the mat. Inhale, lift the legs. Really try, if you start off by taking the hands behind the legs. And then exhale, go ahead and come into a cross-legged position. Hands come onto the mat. Really fast, you're just going to bring the seat up and bring it down. Inhale, we're going to come back into Navasana. So lift and hold. Maybe you are feeling a little brave, and maybe you want to take the arms forward. Try to use that focal point. Try to relax into the face while you're here. And cross the legs. Hands come onto the mat. Inhale, lift. Come on down. I'm going to come in one last time. As you inhale, lift. You got this. Continue to breathe. If you can, if you're shaking, that's okay too. Remember, we always have to start somewhere. Might have to struggle before we get better. And exhale, cross the legs. Inhale, lift. And come on down. So when you're ready, you're going to roll over onto your back. Bring both knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. So coming back to center, arms come out wide, palms are facing up as we prepare for a supine twist. On your exhale, twist over to the right. And begin to gaze towards that left hand. If it's too much on the neck, maybe you just gaze up towards the ceiling. Notice how you can make a little bit more of an effort to relax into the shoulders and into the legs. Eventually, the legs are stacked here. If you're having a hard time stacking the legs, maybe you take a pillow in between both legs to give yourself some support in that lower back on the left side. Just continue to breathe. On the inhale, come back to center. Exhale, you're going to twist over to the left. Gaze towards the right hand, or maybe you just gaze up towards the ceiling. Try to keep those shoulders relaxed. Legs are relaxed. Give yourself some support with the pillow if you need it for your legs. And inhale, slowly come back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. Coming back to center, feet come onto the mat. You're going to prepare for bridge. So make sure the legs are hips width apart, parallel from one another. Feet are planted into the mat. Toes are pointing forward. Arms are by your sides. Palms are facing down. Maybe take a moment to tuck the shoulder blades under. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift through your seat. So really lifting the hips. Maybe you continue to tuck the shoulder blades under a little bit more. And continue to engage the glutes. Continue to breathe. And maybe with each inhale, maybe you continue to raise the hips up a little bit more. And exhale, slowly come down. Keeping the feet where they are, rock the knees from side to side. Coming back to center, inhale, lift through the seat once more, tuck the shoulder blades under, continue to breathe. If you can reach into your heels, maybe you can. Continue to keep the feet planted. The feet shouldn't come up, shouldn't come in. Knees are in line with the hips. And exhale, come on down. Keeping the feet where they are, rock the knees from side to side. Coming back to center, go and bring the knees out wide, bottoms of the feet come together. One hand rests on the heart, the other comes on the belly, just to engage that mind and body connection and awareness. As you also neutralize the spine after those back bends. And then on your next inhale, go and bring the arms up overhead. Tops of the hands land on the floor or the mat. continue to breathe here. So here we're really opening up into the hips and also into the shoulders as we're bringing the arms up overhead. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice hug, rock from side to side. So coming back to center, feet come out of the mat, go ahead and take your right ankle over the left thigh. Go ahead and hold here, see how this feels into that right hip. If you're feeling a really nice deep opening here, maybe you just stay in this position. If you'd like to take it further, you can slide both hands under that left leg as you pull the left knee in. Try to relax into the shoulders and into the jaw while you can, while you're holding here. And maybe gently rock from side to side. Give yourself a little massage into that lower back. Coming back to center, take that left foot on the mat, across that right ankle. Keeping the feet where they are, rock the knees from side to side. Coming back to center, take your left ankle over the right leg and hold. See how it feels on the left hip. If you'd like to take it further, bring both hands under that right leg as you bring the right knee in. Notice how you can continue to relax into the shoulders and into the neck and face. And maybe give yourself a little massage by rocking back and forth, or rocking from side to side. And coming back to center, go and relax the right foot onto the mat, uncross that left ankle, bring both knees to the chest, rock from side to side. So coming back to center, we're gonna come in for an opening into the hamstrings. So when you're ready, you're gonna keep that left knee bent. You're gonna inhale, bring the right leg up and hold. So maybe you hold on to the back of the leg as you pull the right leg in. There should be no pain happening here, especially into that lower back. So be mindful of the pull here. Notice how you can continue to relax into the shoulders and into the neck. You could even go a little bit further by taking the hands maybe to the ankles or the lower leg. And maybe you try to make that effort of pulling in. If this feels pretty good in the lower back and into the legs, maybe you take it even further by relaxing the left leg onto the mat. Just continue to pull. Continue to breathe. And then on your exhale, go and bend that left knee, left foot comes onto the mat. Bend that right knee, right foot comes onto the mat. Keeping the feet where they are, just rock the knees from side to side. So coming back to center, you're gonna take your left leg up and hold. So maybe you take your hands and support the back of the leg here into the hamstrings. Maybe you go up into that lower leg here. Try to relax into the shoulders and into the neck. If you'd like to take it further, you can even relax that right leg onto the mat as you continue to pull. There should be no pain. Try to remember what's happening in the pain scale. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bend the right knee. Go ahead and bend the left knee. Go ahead and bring both knees into the chest, rock from side to side. So you're coming in for a final twist. So arms come out wide, palms are facing down. So this is a nice way to, by bringing the palms down, this is a nice way to really open up into the shoulders a little bit more. On your exhale, twist over to the right as you gaze towards the left hand. Remember, the shoulders and legs are nice and relaxed.